I don't think anybody has the right to tell you to stop doing something that's going to benefit you, that enables you to live a good life, a decent life as a person, a normal human being. Why do I not have a right to get up and feel like a decent human being and walk and be able to do things that everybody else can do?
It's time to consider cannabis. I'm your host, Curtis. There's a real problem going on today, and it's affecting millions of Americans. We get injured and we go to our doctor. Our doctors give us medicine to take, but they don't tell us just to take it when we're in pain. They tell us to take it to stay ahead of the pain. And then, when the medicine's gone and we're still in pain, they tell us, no more medicine for you. We're afraid you're becoming addicted. There's an opioid crisis going on in this country right now, didn't you know? Well, why did you give us this medicine in the first place if you knew it was so addictive and so deadly? I didn't come to you for drugs. I came to you to get better. I came to you for healing, that my pain would actually go away. And then I'm sent on my way, still in pain, with no relief in sight. Pain patients all over the country are looked at as drug addicts because they desperately seek relief from the pain that they are living with. And some of them are addicts. Some of them have fallen off that cliff. But then what you have are addicts going through withdrawals as well as their pain. And while the withdrawal symptoms may only last a week or more, when they are finally gone, the pain remains. And the only thing more crushing than the pain is when the people you love and trust don't believe that you're actually in pain. And why don't they believe you? Because your doctor had you on opiates and then took them away from you, so you must be an addict. But what if I were to tell you that there's a plant that's safe to use, non-addictive, and easy to grow yourself? Today we'll sit down with Missy, a mother, a grandmother, car accident survivor, a fellow chronic pain patient, and a cannabis advocate. Join us and we'll consider cannabis together. Sissy, when did you first begin your relationship with cannabis?
Probably around 16.
Okay.
In high school, partying, drinking, and smoking weed. I mean, that's, what we did. I mean, we went to parties and did that. And I've always been a very awkward person. I come from a family where my mother is severely depressed. There's, severe alcohol abuse and all that stuff. I was always awkward and stressed out and never felt really comfortable and stuff. But, when I smoked, I didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like, I don't know, I couldn't talk or, like I wanted to run and hide or just sit in a corner and not say anything. And I just continued to smoke it. And there's been times when I didn't smoke it. I just was like, I shouldn't do this. I probably shouldn't do this because, of the stigma attached to it and the laws and all that stuff. I try to be a decent person. I don't want to go out and break the laws.
Sure.
On the other hand, when I didn't smoke, I was so nervous, so stressed out. I couldn't sleep. Always on the edge.
Yeah.
Never felt right. And then you take these drugs. Oh, well, try this one. Try that one. You're depressed. Try this one. Try that one. Medication doesn't work for me like that. And that's the thing about medication. Not everything is for everybody. So I continued most of the time. Most of my life I've smoked. And it makes me feel normal. I don't feel agitated, I was also in a bad wreck. 2001. I broke my neck in 4 places. I think I had a 30% chance of making it through that wreck. I wasn't the person that took aspirin or Tylenol and all that stuff all the time. I was allergic to aspirin anyway. But I couldn't, I didn't take a bunch of stuff all the time. I didn't really hurt or any of that stuff, But after that, they put metal plates in your neck and they do what they have to do to save you. Your body's not the same.
Yeah.
Your body's not, it wasn't made to have plates in there,
Right.
So, it's been a struggle. It's been a nightmare. It really has been so difficult to keep your life on track with everything else in life that happens too, because nothing stops just because you're in pain or you hurt your neck or whatever. It doesn't stop. And then you're going to doctors and doctors are giving you medicine. And in the beginning, there was so much medicine. I don't even remember the first 3 years, really. It was a complete blur. Finally, I quit taking medicine. And then the pain got to be so bad that I was so depressed. Talking about suicidal. And I even hate to say this because I have a daughter who committed suicide. But just as a person, aside from that, there are times when I would tell myself, it's really not worth it. If you hurt every day, you just sit there and you're hurting, you don't have to move, or it rains. Oh my God, if it rains, or the weather changes like right now, it hurts. And you look okay to other people. They can't see your metal plates. They can't see all your scars. You look fine. So when you're trying to talk to people, they don't really quite get it. Unless you've been in chronic physical pain or severe, any kind of pain like that, you can't possibly understand that. But, dealing with doctors for a while there, these doctors, especially in this state, from my experience, the pain clinic doctors, they give you medicine, but you have to live under this contract. And then they hold everything over your head saying they're fighting the opioid problem, and they're not. People who are in pain, there are people in pain who really need medication because they deserve to have a life just like anybody else. Was a person in chronic pain who's addicted to medicine because it's impossible, in my opinion, to take that medicine and not be addicted, what do you do then? People go to drug dealers. People go to other people to get their medicine. What are they going to do? They're panicked. What else are they going to do? Or some people smoke weed. It gives them another way to medicate themselves, and it's healthier. No one's died from marijuana. There's no proven deaths from marijuana. You have somebody that goes home and drinks half a bottle of wine and pops some pills, and that's socially accepted. But you have somebody that goes home, has a glass of wine, smokes a joint or a bowl or a bong or whatever you do, then, oh my God, you're a big lawbreaker. You're a criminal.
Yeah.
You're a drug addict.
Yeah.
It's not so. Marijuana was not even made illegal over any truth at all anyway. It was all propaganda. It was nothing about it. I really don't think it's about health care. I think the whole thing is about greed. There's so much money to be made on illnesses.
Especially when you think about the fact that the drugs that they're coming up with to treat opioid addiction are coming from the exact same companies that started the opioid problem. It is absolutely disappointing. So disappointing.
I'm outraged. I can't believe these people. They do not care about the health care. The pain clinic doctors I've seen, they don't. It's not about health care. And I'll tell you one more story right quick.
Sure.
I went to a doctor. I've been taking the same prescription of Percocets for like 15, 17 years, okay? Never upped my prescription in like 15, 17 years. That's like a miracle, honestly. But when I had to go up, things started changing around here with the doctors and the pain clinic doctors, So I was in there, and the doctor said, I don't think this is really helping me that much anymore. I'm still in a lot of pain. And he's like, well, you've been taking the same thing for a long time. So he gave me 2 more of my prescriptions, same milligrams, all that good stuff. He had to go get it signed off. The lady, the I guess in charge doctor, said, no, we can't do that. You can only allowed to prescribe 4. And I was standing there, and I said, he looked at the doctor, and I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, it's against our policy. I said, that's against your policy? I said, so this has nothing to do with my health care, my personal health care. And I was so glad I was standing there because I was just like, you're putting me in a position to where the medication's not really working, but I'm in pain. So what am I going to do? Lay in the bed and want to kill myself every single day because it's not worth it when you can't enjoy anything because your body's turning on you? And the doctor looked at me and I looked at her and I was just like, wow, shocking. And that's a true story.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so crazy that the opioid problem, they hang everything over a patient's head. How is it okay for a doctor to tell you, we're going to take your medicine away because your drug test had this and that in it? Do they do that to cancer patients, diabetes, high blood pressure patients, cholesterol patients? Do they do that? I don't think they do.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't think
hard.
they do.
I mean, to some degree, I understand why they would do that. Because when you start mixing fun drugs too much, like there can be a poisonous cocktail that you can create in your own system. So to an extent, I understand that, but weed is not the problem.
Weed is not the problem. The problem is they cannot get their hands around how they're going to control weed.
You mean how they're going to financially control weed?
Exactly. How they're going to financially control weed. When you have pharmacies making synthetic drugs that mimic marijuana, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Why in God's name would they do that? Why would they do that if it doesn't work? There's so many millions of stories of people where it works. You have kids with epileptic seizures and stuff, and cancer patients and AIDS, or whatever. Why would you not let somebody heal their body? Everybody's body's different. It may not work for everyone. Nothing does. Nothing ever does. But for those it works for, they should be allowed to do that.
Yeah, especially when there's so much evidence. And
so much evidence.
There's the problem, I think, that the DEA and the government is come up against now is that there's so much video evidence online from the citizens saying, hey, this stuff works. Watch what happens when we give this to our dad who has Parkinson's. Watch what happens when we give this to our mom who has MS. And she can actually get up off of the couch and move and have a life back. She can function. Exactly. Right. And you can't have a substance on the Schedule 1 when it can influence people with sicknesses in that way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's unconscionable, really.
It really is. It truly is.
And when you think about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you're literally taking away their life.
You are.
And their ability to pursue happiness, and their liberty to make the choice to try that medication.
100%.
It's
100%. That's 100% true. I mean, I get so upset sometimes I can't even, it's hard to even get it to come out right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to wrap your head around that. You see anybody who's got any problem, any kind of severe health problem, chronic pain, whatever it is, and they do that, and they do see a difference, and then you are going to say, no, I don't know what you call that other than...
Heartless?
Heartless. You're basically telling them you are not allowed to live a decent life. We're not going to let you do that. We're going to take that from you. We're going to keep you from that. And you're just going to have to live in your own personal hell if you even make it through that.
Mm-hmm. And our brains process mental pain the same as physical pain, exactly the same. So someone who, like me, gets depressed and wants just the pain to stop. Someone with physical pain just wants that pain to stop. I remember before I had my surgery, I wasn't feeling mentally depressed, but the pain in the neck and the arms was so much like, I cannot keep living like this. Something has to stop, or it all has to stop.
Exactly. I lost my daughter 6 years ago to suicide. And I'm going to tell you something. I really don't think I've ever really been completely afraid of anything. I've been, awkward or whatever, but, fake it till you make it.
Sure.
I had that attitude for a long time. It's exhausting. But when she died, I realized for the first time that I honestly had zero control over anything. And the fear set in. And I have been paralyzed. I couldn't go outside of my house and walk my dog. It would take me 2 hours to say, okay, you're just going outside. You're going to walk your dog. My daughter was so upset with me. Well, you never want to go anywhere. You won't ever go anywhere. I didn't want to go out of my house. And then you're on the couch and you're crying and you are hurting and they're tired of it. People get tired of it. They don't understand it. They don't want you to hurt, but they're helpless, just like you're helpless.
Yeah.
And the difference between if I do smoke, I feel like a normal person. I can manage it. I'm not on the couch. I'm not hiding. I'm not depressed. I don't feel like I want to kill myself. And from a mom who's lost a daughter to suicide, people are thinking probably, how could she even say that? But if you're...
They don't understand.
If you're sitting there, you have the pain will crush you. Mm-hmm. Then the depression sets in, and that makes your pain even more. So you're completely crushed. To me, I was crushed. I've been crushed as a person.
Yeah.
It's been the most difficult thing, and I'm still trying to get through it. And it's been 6 years. And sometimes I'm just like, wow.
See, for me, like those sorts of crushing things, they crush your mind, they crush your feelings, they crush your spirit. And then the doctors, they can give you medicine and they'll give you these pharmaceuticals that will help your emotions not feel so crushed, but your spirit is still crushed.
You're still crushed. And I've always worried about, I don't want to take medication every day. No one likes to take medicine every day. I don't believe anybody in the world wants to say, hey, I can't wait to get up and take my medicine. Mm-hmm. It's scary. I mean, everything has a side effect.
Yeah.
But with marijuana, what are the side effects? What are the proven side effects?
Well, hunger, dry mouth, maybe some red eyes. Let's
Right.
see. What other horrible things do we experience? Possible paranoia if you've overdone it.
Yeah, if you've ever done it. Yeah, if you've ever done it. Yeah.
Good naps. Good naps.
Good
There's
naps. You can smile, talk, laugh. And I'm not saying that, I smoke it, so I want to be happy,
Right. But what's wrong with that being a side effect?
What is wrong with that? What other drugs do you see that's on the TV being crammed down our throats every single day? Like every other commercial is a pharmaceutical commercial with the entire commercial, other than the first maybe 1 minute or so, is all the side effects.
And the warnings.
But we're so excited. I can't wait to take this. So, maybe I'll die from something else or have to take something else to fix this that this caused, Well, I'm trying to get over the original thing. Where in history has marijuana ever done that to anybody?
Nothing recorded, that's for sure.
Nothing recorded, right.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And it's been around so long that you think they probably would have written that down.
Right.
We've learned a lot about poisonous plants over the centuries.
A lot. Right, a lot.
We know not to smoke poison ivy.
Right. I can't even look at it,
Yeah.
So I think it's a shame that people have had to fight so hard over a plant. It's a plant. And I think it should be completely legal, not just medically, completely legal, 100%.
So do you have a medical recommendation?
I'm getting one.
You're getting one?
But I'm kind of torn about it a little bit.
Why?
Well, I guess because what kind of database are you going to be in then? I don't know. I've gone to the doctors and people look at me or they treat you different if you take a certain drug, like an opioid that's prescribed by a doctor on a prescription pad. They treat you different. They may not treat you. They might make you wait. People know when they're being treated like garbage because something like that.
Yeah.
So is that going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Will that happen? I mean, you shouldn't have to think about those things, but having lived through that, I wonder about that.
Yeah.
What kind of database what exactly are they going to use all that information for?
I've honestly been kind of wondering if that's going to be available to state police who can run your driver's license and be like, oh, this person has a medical recommendation. I bet you they have something on them. Let's see. Let's give them a sobriety test. And just create a big hassle for you just to go to the store or something. But I'm a big fan of not driving intoxicated. Right.
I
advocate for that. Yeah.
Right, me too.
So on the one hand, it's maybe that's not the worst thing. But on the other hand, I really don't know what else they might do with it.
The problem is most of the time that things like that happen, I think you're pretty much guilty until proven innocent. Because you are. I mean, it's like anything else. If you take the opioids, you get treated differently, not only by your doctors, but by the pharmacies, emergency rooms, everywhere you go. You're automatically a pill seeker or a drug dealer.
Right.
And of course, you're chemically dependent if you take the medication. I mean, duh.
Yeah.
And it's just like drug addicts who are trying to get clean. I know people like that. They get treated like garbage.
Yeah.
They're trying to get clean. No one sets out to do anything like that. And when you have such control, the problem is with me is the control the government wants to keep on somebody. I don't understand. It's a plant. There's no proof. They have no proof that it destroys people. They have proof that it helps people. They have proof that it cures different things, cancers, and helps with seizures and all these different things. Veterans, PTSD people of any kind, chronic pain, anything. It makes their life manageable. It's proven. But, they use different things to control that too. How are you going to use it? Who's going to know you use it? And if you go in there and you're using it and it's in it's going to be in a computer when you go into the emergency room or another doctor or anywhere else. How are they going to use that against you? That makes me nervous.
Yeah. I obtained mine and wondering why, because dispensaries, who knows when they'll be open, and then they will be open and then they won't be able to keep the shelves stocked, and who knows when we'll actually have a steady supply of any sort of product. But when that does happen, I'm looking forward to experiencing what's known as a 1-to-1 ratio, because most of the cannabis I've ever smoked in my entire life has been heavily THC dominant. So I'm just curious what that's going to be like. I'm excited about it because I vape CBD and I get this mood elevation.
You do that now?
CBD, yeah.
And you can do that here?
Well, It's a gray area.
Right. I've been, I don't know. I've been misunderstood. I don't understand.
There's the two laws. One that says that industrial hemp is completely legal. Then CBD derived from hemp plants is legal. But there's also the law that says that anything with THC in it is illegal. And hemp has a very low percentage of THC. Like so low, you're not getting high off of smoking hemp.
Right.
But it's in there. So there's this like, well, which law does it fall under? And then Ohio decided to do their fun thing with the DEA pharmacy
awesome.
licensing thing that people are just like, well, we don't know anymore. Well, I'm going to continue to treat my depression and anxiety with CBD because I'm not going back to that life.
Absolutely.
I'm just not going to. And if that means I'm going to get in trouble and have to think about how do we sell our house and redo life and rethink life.
Amen. I'm with you.
Then I'm prepared to do that because I love my family and I want to be there for them. And they love me and they want me to live my best life, you know, and doing that with lithium and Prozac is not the path.
I agree. I mean, and all that stuff, all the medications I've had in the past, it's not for me. I can't do that. And I definitely cannot do that here. I cannot go to a pain clinic doctor here. I don't believe they're doctors. It's a farce. And I refuse to be treated like garbage or have somebody hold medicine over my head because I am in chronic pain.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm being punished. I'm not going to do that. So if I have to smoke marijuana, weed, cannabis, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to. Because it's my life, and I pray all the time, and I'm paranoid a lot about, getting in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But what's the alternative? I'm going to sit in my house and be depressed to the point I want to kill myself, and my family doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's why I use CBD. I mean, I do have moments where I'm still laid out and my daughter wants me to go play softball with her. And, and I'm like, I'm in so much pain right now. Can we just watch a show, And she's disappointed and I can't be there for her the way I want to. And I know that if I can get the pain relief from it, that I will be able to get up, play, and she will benefit from me being able to engage in her life like that. And I'm frustrated, to be honest with you, because in order for me to get that and provide that for her, I have to go to the black market to get THC. So you are currently medicating with black market product?
I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm given a choice. And that's the God's truth. I'm not making up some kind of craziness. It's not a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, my daughter has sat there, my son has sat there, my granddaughter has sat there and looked at me crying and not being able to get up, hardly able to walk, just wishing it would end, praying to God like, I can't do this. What am I going to do? Versus when I do smoke, I don't feel like I want to kill myself anymore. I don't sit in the dark in my bedroom crying. I can look at my granddaughter and say, hey, honey, Nanny, you want to play this? You want to draw this? You want to help me with my schoolwork? You want to?
I sure do.
I want to eat your face off. Of course I do. Or tell my daughter, no, I don't want to go. I can't do it. I can't go and do that with y'all.
Yeah.
And now I can go to stores, and just do whatever. I didn't want to go to the store. I couldn't even walk my dog outside of my apartment, What?
Yeah.
So what kind of life is that? So I just don't feel like there's a choice. I pray to God it continues to change. And I like you said, the Schedule I thing is just insane. That's criminal.
Yeah.
There are so many healing benefits to that. And a Schedule I drug is not supposed to have any of that.
Yeah.
And it has all of that. All of that.
And they're just dragging their feet.
Yeah, because it's money. Like I said, they can't get their hands around how they're going to control it and probably how they're going to mess it up. I have 100% believe if the government gets 100% control over marijuana to where people can't grow it or they're told how they can take it specifically, which is insane, I don't understand that. It's evil.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really evil. It's really, people are prosecuted for taking care of themselves to where they can function as a human being. Why don't we have that right? Why don't I have a right to feel like a normal human being? Why do I not have a right to get up and feel like a decent human being and walk and be able to do things that everybody else can do?
I completely agree with you. It's 100% a battle of good and evil in that regard. But I think a lot of people fighting that war are just misinformed. I really do. I believe that there are people out there who have completely succumbed to the idea of reefer madness, and that this is just as dangerous of a drug as heroin or cocaine, when the reality is very far from that.
Very, very far from it. Yeah, well, hopefully the world will just, they'll get it out. But I mean, it definitely has to change. Whenever has ever stopped anybody from doing anything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
True.
And I'm not saying that everybody should go out and do whatever they want. I don't mean it like that, but I just mean for my personal self, like your personal self, we should have the right to live a life too. That you feel like a decent person, where you're not afraid, where you don't want to kill yourself every day.
Yeah.
Suicide prevention, and everything else.
How has your cannabis use affected your relationships with your family members?
Well, thank God I'm a very open person. My family, I think, are very happy and very grateful because they don't want me the other way.
Right.
My fiance doesn't want to see me the other way. My fiance does not smoke and will not smoke. And he's in severe pain. They don't judge me. Whatever, that makes me feel like a decent human being. I mean, I'm able to do things. I feel normal. I can be a normal person, do just normal things like everybody else. So they're happy with that. I smile, I can joke. I'm not sitting in my room angry or terrified or depressed, So I think they want to see me good. They want to see me feeling good and being a real person and happy and laughing. And
that's really good. There's nothing.
They want me to be happy. Why wouldn't they? I mean, I guess.
I think the only thing better than having your doctor support your medication choices and your treatment choices is having your family support it.
Oh, I'd be horrified. Mm-hmm. And I'm very honest, and they know. I'm very honest about it, and I look at it, and my daughter, they give me heck sometimes because I'm like, you got to see this. You got to see this. And they're like, Mom, please. But I'm like, it's a big deal for me in my life.
Yeah.
And it's a fight that people have to continue to fight to be able to take care of themselves and to be able to have a happy family life. It was really hard on my family being in pain. It's been very hard on them. It's been hard on me, but it's really been hard on them too. It's really hard to understand physical pain when you're not going through it.
Yeah.
And you look like you can't see your scars. You can't see my scars. You don't know what's inside your body. And it was very hard for them. And there was not a lot of joy. There was a lot of resentment, anger, everything, depression, everything. I was angry at them for not understanding. I was so angry at them, but I felt all those things. And now I don't feel those things anymore.
That's good. What do you think is the greatest stigma facing cannabis consumption? And how would you go about changing people's minds?
Well, the legality. The biggest stigma, I think, is people, the potheads. People have been made to think that people who are bad, they smoke weed. I think education and getting the word out, like this. Social media. But I mean, I think talking about it out loud and having real conversations like people are doing and bringing it to people where, like you said, some people probably just don't know anything about it. They're not informed at all.
Yeah.
That maybe this message needs to be taken to some other people where they aren't getting this information. I'm not sure what to do.
No, I think that's perfect. Really, my experience has been when I share something about cannabis with somebody and I'm met with judgment. Yeah. My knee-jerk reaction is to just shut down that relationship and be like, okay, I can take the relationship as far as that, but I can't cross that line with this person. Yeah. When in reality, I should let that person express how they feel and what their natural response is to it, because they have a right to their feelings too.
Right.
And then just accept it, but then counter it with, have you seen this video of this kid with the seizure? Have you seen the video of this dad with Parkinson's? Have you seen this video? Have you seen this study? Have you learned about your endocannabinoid system and what that can do?
It's a big deal. And like, you're right. Because even coming here, I was kind of leery.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest problems with being me trying to do this is because I don't have connections. I don't know anybody in the cannabis world. You know what I mean? Like, I walked into a patients advocacy event in Columbus and I met a lot of awesome people.
Wow.
But I felt their leeriness of me, the new guy coming in. And it's just...
it's true.
Because there's so much... Nobody wants to get in trouble. Like, I've got a wife and 2 kids, a nice house. Like, I don't want to lose this. I don't want my kids to be taken away. Like,
Exactly.
But on the other hand, I believe that cannabis reform is something worth fighting for. Because it has so much benefit to so many people beyond me and my issues, which are real issues that are legitimate and should be able to be cared for.
Very, very, very real issues. It's saving lives. It will continue to save lives. It gives people an opportunity to try something else. And a lot of these times it's really helped. But even like coming here, you know, when I talked to my fiance about it, he was concerned because I was like, I really don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I think my daughter knows him.
Mm-hmm. Did you ask her about me?
I did.
Oh, good.
And I was like,
and
well.
She's like, that dude's so awesome.
She was like, well, Mom, really, sit down. No, she really did. She was like, he is so nice. I was like, are you sure? Like, this is not some kind of setup?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hate to,
No, I get it. No, I completely get it.
And then on the other hand, I'm like, well, I'm a hypocrite. And that's the big thing I struggled with. This is I have a story to tell, and I get all jumbled up sometimes because there's a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to scream it at people. I really want to scream it at people. It's helping me to function without all that stuff and without underneath these doctors' judgment. But the other thing is you do get judged by other people. Like,
yeah,
you know, I do worry about my family too. Are they going to be taken away? Am I going to go to jail? What?
Absolutely.
Because I'm trying to take care of myself.
Because I want to use something that's going to help me actually engage with my kid, my grandkid. This plant is going to let me share life with them to the fullest that it possibly could, because I will not be laid up on the couch
crying, wanting to kill myself.
And so you're going to take it all away from me, and I can't do it anyway. It's completely ridiculous.
Because it's marked as Schedule I by the federal government, which is a lie, 100% a lie anyway. It's 100% a lie. It was all lies. It was 100% propaganda. It was about money, tobacco, alcohol, and the races, everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was not about anything that had anything to do with the truth about a plant and what it did to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay? Nothing. And now you've got this whole history and all these facts are proven. Medical doctors checking this out. It's working. They're using it. It's working. People are being cured from cancer, different cancers. I mean, you see the videos, like you said, about a child and they're given.
It's the most beautiful thing. Like, as a dad.
And it stops. The seizure stops, you know?
Yeah.
Or Parkinson's, or they can actually live. They don't have 1,000 seizures a day.
Mm-hmm.
How can somebody live with 1,000 seizures a day? How can you tell them they can't take that medicine when you see the results? How can you say that's wrong? How in God's name, as a human being on this planet, can you say that is wrong? And then we talked about this. Me and my fiance, we talked about this. And I said, I really don't feel right not doing this. And he goes, but what if? I said, what if anything could happen today? What if? And if I don't, and all these other people didn't, it's never going to go forward. It's never going to change unless you tell your story and you're honest about it. You're going to be judged. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to be judged. People are going to look at you like, oh, she smokes weed. She's a pothead.
Yeah, exactly.
She's this and that. She's this terrible person. Really? It's going to happen. But, you know, people get judged for every single thing in the world. So, and I've never really cared that much about what people think.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when they can think something and get you in trouble for it. That's when it becomes a dangerous situation. And that's the problem. It can be a dangerous situation. Why should we have to worry and hide this when it's given us a life with our families in this world? Everybody has a right to live a life, a healthy, happy life. Like you said, pursuit of happiness. Why can't we? And if I don't, I probably won't have my fiance. I probably won't have my family because they will be tired of me, regardless of how terrible that sounds. But I won't be able to deal with them because I'll be in pain. I'll be depressed. And I won't be able to handle things. And they won't be able to handle me feeling that way. It wears people down. It sucks the life out of you. And for somebody to say that you can't have it, you have to live this way, it's evil. How is that right or just in any way, form, or fashion?
Yeah.
How can it be a Schedule I drug in any way, form, or fashion?
Mm-hmm.
Why are people still having to hide this? But thank God not everybody is doing that. Thank God. That's all I can say is thank God.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you kind of touched on one of my questions about cannabis only being used for medicine or if you believe in weed for wellness. It sounds like you are in the camp of weed for wellness overall.
Right.
Obviously, like you said, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. Not anything is. But it is for me.
Yeah.
And it makes me a better person. And that sounds crazy, but it's like somebody taking this or that pill and it makes them a better person. They can live. This is me.
I would just add to that when I say it's not for everybody, like there's very few people that I think that it's not right for. Like very few.
Very few.
I think it's people who would go psychotic if they smoked it. And there's like the 1% of people of the population that will happen to.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's probably not a great choice for them. And I just listened to a podcast that says that they can do a chromosome panel on you to find out what your reaction to weed is. Yeah. Like science in California over marijuana is just going
I love
over
them.
the top. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, if they can determine that, then what is the problem?
Right.
100%.
Right.
What is the problem? I think that just takes everything out because I know very few people or they've had bad reactions to. A lot of people I know are like, thank God. I don't know if anybody's ever hurt.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, if there is one thing you want to make sure our listeners hear or know or remember, what would that be?
Living a happy life is not a privilege. Something like this has been proven to help people to live a happy life, which changes everything around them. I think that's very important. They should be able to do that. And I don't think any government should be allowed to tell you that you can't do that because it's not a privilege. I don't think anybody has the right to tell you to stop doing something that's going to benefit you, that enables you to live a good life, a decent life as a person, a normal human being. I don't think anybody has that right.
According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, www.drugabuse.gov, marijuana use can lead to the development of problem use, known as marijuana use disorder, which only takes the form of addiction in severe cases. When the person cannot stop using, even though it interferes with many aspects of their normal life, one could say they are addicted. According to this government website, some studies suggest that only 9% of people who use marijuana will become dependent, and that number jumps to 17% in those who start using in their teens. Now, I can easily say that it's hard to trust a government website. This is, after all, the same government that has cannabis that can help people with seizures and Parkinson's and MS and chronic pain and cancer on Schedule I. And as we know, Schedule I drugs are supposed to have no possible medical benefit. And this is the same website that doesn't offer any of the same statistics on opiates or alcohol. And I'm willing to bet that 9 to 17% of people in the world are capable of becoming addicted to almost anything. Consider Cannabis is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment recommendations. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you'd like to be a guest and share how cannabis has helped your health and wellness, contact me at considercannabisnow.com or on the Consider Cannabis Facebook page. If you have found anything of value in this episode, please share it with someone else. Remember to subscribe for free and get every episode delivered right to your phone. Join me next time, and we'll consider cannabis together.